It's amazing how one little piece of paper can strike fear in the hearts of so many artists. I'd like to thank the Process Art Discovery audience for joining me today. I'm Lynda Norman. I'm a watercolor artist here in the beautiful province of British Columbia, and today we're going to tackle that white piece of paper with some easy and flowing exercises. So it happens to all of us. That little piece of white paper suddenly becomes very powerful in how it blocks our creative flow sometimes. And I don't have the answers, for everyone. But what I find for myself often is just getting some color, practicing, getting some flow happening, maybe testing a new color or finding out what two of my other favorite colors will do if they blend together. It's a good time when you're feeling that to maybe just give yourself a bit of time to work through mixing some colors and seeing what happens, and testing the amount of water that you use in order to get the effect that you want. And what I've been noticing lately, especially when I'm teaching in person, is that so many of us not only are fearful of the white page, but fearful of using enough pigment and paint. And I know it's costly and often that's an issue. And I think a lot of times, even going back to painting in elementary school, and very detailed painting with lighter colors because the pigmentation just wasn't there. Student grade, especially back in the day, the student boxes of colors were, were not highly pigmented options. They were basically dye held together with maybe a bit of chalk or something. So watercolor got that reputation of being very light and also very detailed. Sometimes a floral and that kind of thing. But the way I paint is, I guess, a little more heavy-handed, and I just have learned, because of the paints that I use, which are Daniel Smith generally, or the Rockwell Self-Evolving sometimes are a beautiful option, is that allowing those pigments, those rich, deep, dark granulation bits in the pigments to settle and move where they want to go can just be a fun exercise in itself. And very often, once you relax into that, the painting will appear before your very eyes if you allow that to happen. So today, let's take a look at I think the vignette style that I've been showing for quite some time, but maybe a little closer look at it and see what those drops of water will do when we introduce some pigments to them. And I'm going to spray a fair bit onto this page just because I want to have it workable for a few minutes. Sometimes if you spray lightly, the paper will absorb it and it dries quite quickly, and that often can be an issue as well. I'm using this particular sprayer because it has an adjustable nozzle. It's not just on or off, and that way I can adjust the flow so that it's a heavier spray, and I want it to just sort of plop down on the page. If I was to spray and shoot it off that way, then you'll get a directional flow, and that would be helpful if that's what you're looking for, but often that's not really what we want to achieve. So I've got those drops on there. I've wet my palette. This is my one of my solo palettes that has some of my favorite Daniel Smith colors in it. And I think just so that it can show better, we'll use some of the darker colors. And this one at the end is a Mayan Dark Blue. And when I talk about using enough pigment and paint on your brush, if you wet your paints in advance, and sometimes that means doing that a couple of times, just with a light mister, let it soak in, let your paints awaken. Then you're not having to dig around with your brush. And this is my this is my Lebenzon brush, my 1.5 inch goat synthetic blend that I wouldn't be without in my studio. It's a brush that holds an amazing amount of water and a huge pigment load. Because my paints are juicy and wet, I only need to touch in, and I don't know if you can see that, but there's a bit of a blob of it on the end. I don't want it dripping off. I want this to be, I'm trying to think of what, sort of like hand cream, I suppose. It's quite thick. When I add this to the drops of water, you'll be able to see what happens. And I can go a very long way with this, with this one load. And I'm going to take my time and watch the water flow and pull that pigment out. I'm going to give sort of the basic tree shape. If I sit back slightly, I can see where the water's shining and glistening. And I'm resisting the temptation to actually draw a tree. I'm allowing the water and the pigments to create their own branches and parts of the tree. If I was to draw a straight line, I think I'm detracting probably from the overall loose effect of the process. And so it's just a case of still with that one load of pigment on my brush and making the bottom bits come out a little further, and you can just encourage that. And I like to think of it as encouraging rather than physically forming those shapes. And then you can go back in and fill in, as long as you've got water on your surface, you've got options for that. Make it a little heavier perhaps at the bottom. Use the side of your brush if you want to, just to add some extra texture. That water has taken that pigment and pulled it out. The pigment has settled darker in some places, lighter in others. There's some beautiful, beautiful granulating and shading effects that are happening here. And I can see where this can become maybe the focus of this painting. We'll start with just another color. You could do the whole thing in one color. But just by skimming the surface of those water drops, you're just introducing your heavy load of pigment. I try to make my branches also not straight across from each other. It just adds, I think, a little bit of interest. And because this tree is close, I think I'm happy with it, the green blending in with the blue. So I started off, the first color was Mayan Dark Blue, a Payne's Blue Gray, Payne's Gray. Many of the darker colors are beautifully granulating, and so you could use that. Now in this section here, the water has dried and there aren't quite as many droplets. So I have to sit back and look at where those other droplets are and perhaps take advantage of some of those. I love that they can blend together. I can see droplets in here. I'm just going to go back in with some Mayan Dark Blue and introduce another little bit of a darker tree in the background. And you don't need to paint the whole tree. Just the hint of a tree popping up in the background because they're layered back. Here I have a funny little piece coming out to the side, so I'm just going to we'll just make that into another tree happening right over here. One thing I love about watercolor painting is that you can use your imagination, and little bits of color that have fallen to the wayside or plopped in the middle of something can easily become a tree or a bird. Unless, of course, you're painting a still life of pears or something. But yeah, I think if you allow the paint, the pigment, and the water just to interact. Some of these droplets were a little heavy. I'm just going to take the corner of my paper towel and just touch. I just want to just pick up a little bit of that excess water. So that's really how to get your vignette started. You can add, you can layer as you go. Remember that you don't want to be adding extra droplets afterwards. These trees are sort of the way they are because of the water that was on the page. If you added more now, you would get a very big dispersion of all of that. And I have this newer paint in my paint palette, and it's Rose of Ultramarine. And I just really feel like I need to experiment with that a little bit. So I'm going to try that, and I'm just going to see how it granulates by adding a little purple tree here. See how it moves across the page. If we touch it into some of the water drops, it doesn't move quite the same as the Mayan Dark Blue, but it does have some really pretty shading as it comes out. So that would be something I might even put another one in the background here. So just with the tip of your brush in your water droplets, have some fun. If you want to use your student grade, your cellulose papers, go ahead and give it a try. You'll get a bit of a sense of it. You won't get the same movement on the page as if you were using 100% cotton paper. But you know, this might be a perfect time for you to sit and test out some of those colors and see what they'll do for you. And maybe in the process of doing this, you'll become, you'll get inspired and start to create something from that. If you want the vignette on the bottom, simply add lots of water here and there so that the pigments can run down the page and give you that unfinished kind of vignette-y look. If you add more pigment and just let it run, have some fun with it. Remind yourself of what your paints and your pigments can do for you. Play with the color. Mix and match. And just to finish up real quick, oh, that's a lot of paint on there. The paint, as I say, needs to be thick and rich on the tip of your brush. You're not necessarily wanting to add more water. It's mainly pigment, so quite a thick mix is what's going to give you the results. And let's just see if we can get a little bit more of this blue, just so this little pink tree doesn't stand out too much on its own over here. And we'll just blend that in a tiny bit. So take your time. Dab the pigment into the drops of water, let it flow, let it move around. Think about how that will look when you incorporate that into a painting or something that you're wanting to just play around with. I hope this little playtime with droplets of water and pigment has encouraged you to approach that blank page and have some fun. Little playtime. It's important. Not every piece you do has to be a masterpiece. Each piece that you do, though, I think can be a bit of a learning process and something that perhaps you can incorporate into future paintings. I'd like to thank the Process Art Discovery audience for joining me today. We had a little playtime learning to just let the water and the paint do what they want to do. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to the channel or head on over to their members area.